Welcome back to MLE Season 10 here on the mainstream. We have ourselves a second series for you off of the back of that brilliant Foundation League 1. We now have an Academy League series for you. We have the Puffins against the Sabres, a very close series, a very fun series to watch, and we hope you enjoy it as well in chat. Joining me for this game is going to be the real Mobags. And Mobags, you know a fair bit about both of these teams coming into this matchup. Care to enlighten the audience a little bit?
Yeah, I would love to enlighten the audience a little bit here. Okay, hold on just a second, though.
There's so my guys. Hold up.
And it's really terrible, and I don't know what to do. But either way, let's jump into this. Puffins and Sabres are both sitting outside. Sitting outside of playoff contention right now. Yeah. You've got the Puffins with a slight edge. They're going 6-6 in their series, and you've got the Sabres 5-7. Today, for the side of the Sabres, we've got the Big C and we've got Sammy Needs playing today. And on the side of the Puffins, we have Aubrey E and El Cucharino.
Ooh. I know a fair bit about El Cuccinero. He's one of my a former teammate I played with several months back now, but a very good player. How's his stats been for the Academy League so far this season?
Was that El Cucharino or is that somebody else?
Cuccinero, I think is how you pronounce it.
Cuccinero, my mistake.
Yeah.
My mistake. Okay, so for El Cuccinero, he has a 3.79 MVPR. Not super high, but not super bad. In assists, though, he is 9th in the league, which is quite the feat given the amount of players that we have in AL. Person to really look at, though, is going to be Sammy Needs. He has the highest MVPR of any of these players today with a 4.37 this season. Looking really, really good. Both of these teams, though, are really going to have to try to get this win if they want any chance of making any sort of playoff push here.
All right. Well, as always, before a series, we always go over predictions, who we think is going to win. Who do you think is going to take this series, and care to give a little reason why?
Well, I don't have much of a guess, or I guess rather what I would have is just a guess. My gut is telling me that the Sabres are going to take this one.
Ooh, okay. Well, just for the sake of having a bit of a back and forth between us, I'm going to say the Puffins will take this one, so we have a little bit of a clash. But as we look forward to getting into this series, please remember to let us know in the Twitch chat who you would like to see win this series and further their chances of getting into the playoff spots. Hashtag SAB for Sabres, hashtag PUF for Puffins. As we get ready to go into this series, you mentioned Sammy Needs as a big player. I'm going to bring up the Big C, the other member on that team. I feel like he could be a difference maker this season, and has been this season, and could be a difference maker for this series as we head into this game.
Yeah, we're getting into this series. We will see who indeed is going to be the difference maker as we get into it right about now.
Yeah, it's going to be a diagonal kickoff first. Cuccinero and Big C meet in the middle. A little bump play there from Sammy, bumping Big C into the ball. Ball saved by Aubrey. He looks to dribble it down the right-hand side of the field. C with a great touch, however. Cuccinero meets the ball in the air. Sammy Needs forced to try and clear it out of his own half, but Cuccinero reads him well again. Big C now tries to dribble the ball down the field, beats Aubrey to the ball. Ball, however, bounces high above the net. Cuccinero gets the dunk onto Sammy, but C has rotated back into the net. And with 30 seconds gone, we stay 0-0.
Yeah, 30 seconds in, 0-0. Big C had an opportunity there, but he wasn't quite able to get the read on that bounce that went way up to the ceiling there. So that's a little unfortunate for him.
Yeah, and another good chance left, this time for the Puffins. Aubrey unable to make contact with the ball to put it on target. Sammy now looks to control the ball as it bounces into the midfield, but Aubrey, great read, sends it into the corner of the Sabres. Big C now looks to control the ball in the midfield. A great demo and beat from Aubrey. The ball falls into the corner. Cuccinero plays it across the box, but there's no one there to pick up the pass, and the ball is cleared away again by the Sabres. It feels like the Puffins are trapping the Sabres in their own half here as a shot comes out from Cuccinero, saved off the bar, and it's going to find the back of the net. Eventually, Aubrey slots it home. The Puffins have looked dominant early on.
Yeah, Puffins have looked dominant. Definitely a couple of misplays that I've been seeing from both teams here. And finally, we see the Puffins able to capitalize on one of those misplays, just not finding the touch off the wall or not finding the touch off the backboard, and that'll do it for you.
Yeah, especially at such a tough level of competition here in the Academy League. Every single play matters, and every single shot matters. If you do see a play, however, that you do enjoy and do think is a very noteworthy play, please make sure to clip that in the Twitch chat. Send it to us via Twitter or through the Discord using the hashtag #PlayOfTheWeek or POTW, as another shot goes missing from Aubrey and the ball falls into the Sabres corner once more. Big C takes it past one, gets a good 50 with Aubrey. The ball's going to go far into the Puffins half. Sabres finally breaking out a little bit. A great beat from Sammy. The ball's going to go high and over the net into the far side. C tries to lunge in for a challenge. A good beat from Aubrey. And he's going to control it into the midfield. And as we tick down to the halfway point, what do you think the Sabres have to do to try and get something going here in this game?
Well, they need touches that actually make a difference in the grand scheme of the game here. Right now, it just seems like they're getting a touch into the corner. It's not really going anywhere, and then they retreat, rinse and repeat. That's what we've seen for the first half of this game so far. They need to get passes out over the box that will actually get to their teammate. And right now, we're seeing a lot of awkwardness here out of the Puffins. A lot of awkwardness on both sides there. It's going to end up going nowhere for anybody, though, as everybody retreats from that.
Yeah, it felt like it was just set up for an Aubrey goal, and Big C with a shot. Bounces off the bar. Sammy tries to control it, but Aubrey rotates back in front of the net. Gets the clearing, and Cuccinero is going to tidy that one up into the midfield. It felt like that could have just been the goal to get the Puffins clear in this game, but still set at a 1-0 lead. Sammy Needs now looks to bring it forward. Will get the equaliser. A great shot into the top corner. There is nothing you can do if you're the defender in that situation.
Yeah, if you're the defender here, you need to be turned around and you need to be attacking that ball. You can't have your back to something like that. He's going to go whichever way you don't. And so that is a great goal from the Sabres there as we get into the final 2 minutes here of gameplay.
And it's something they needed. They've been piling on a little bit of pressure here in the last minute or so, and they're going to get a second goal for their efforts. A great shot here from Big C. Threatens to take the shot on there. Aubrey commits, doesn't realise it's wide. He's able to read the ball before the other defender gets back. And the 2 goals in quick succession breaks the momentum that the Puffins seem to have to start this game.
Yeah, Puffins were definitely looking like the more put-together team, I'll say, in the first half of this game. And the Sabres just put an end to it right there. 2 goals back-to-back. That'll definitely make it a lot tougher here for these Puffins as they try to get one more goal to equalize.
Yeah, ball comes across the midfield. Cuccinero's shot is slow, and it allows Sammy to rotate back and get the save. Sammy has been one of the key players here so far for the Sabres as Cuccinero tries to dribble this one up high. It's going to come off the backboard. He can't get the read, but the ball falls for Aubrey. His shot just wide, and a little bump in the midfield leaves the Puffins' defense a little shaky, but the Sabres unable to capitalize on it. Aubrey fakes a toucher off of Cuccinero's pass. Ball comes in front of the box, and a great save there to keep that ball out from Sammy as the ball falls back into the midfield. The Puffins tighten this vice that they have on the Sabres net.
Yeah, and they tighten it into the point of a goal. If they knew how low boost the Sabres were, I bet they would have been even more aggressive here. Their aggression paid off, though, for them this time as they equalize this game. 37 seconds left. Who do you think is going to be on top when we get to the end of this?
Honestly, I have no way to call it. I said I would go in for the Puffins to begin this series, and I'm not sure anymore. A great bump there from Cuccinero stops Sammy from setting up the air dribble attempt. But C, going to control the ball, send it deep into the Puffins half, tries to get a beat, but Cuccinero dunks him hard and gets another good 50. The ball flying dangerously towards the Sabres net. He can't get the third beat. C recovers in time. Now Aubrey looks to try and continue this attack, but Sammy pinches it with him all the way down the field. That's going to come precariously across the top of the net. With 5 seconds remaining, both teams probably looking to try and finish this up and take it to an OT. The ball rolls down off the wall. We're going to a game 1 OT.
Yeah, you mentioned you mentioned Sammy Needs as the player to watch so far on the Sabres, and I would have to disagree. I think Big C has made a lot of higher IQ plays that I'm more used to seeing at the higher levels here. The shots that are a little bit off target for himself, as we see El Cuccinero put that one in off the bounce. That is a great shot there.
That was a very good read off of the pass from Aubrey as well. It took him 6 shots to fire the back of the net, but eventually he does, and it's at the most important time. 20 seconds into the OT, it's already over. The Puffins take game 1 here in this series.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to finish my little thought that I had there. The Big C, I believe he is making higher IQ plays than I am used to seeing in these AL games. Those little bounce shots that are just slightly off target that end up being just the equivalent of a pass to himself. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. And that's definitely a really good way to get some goals scored, especially down in Academy.
Yeah, and when you look at the stats, though, despite his big brain 200 IQ plays, he still ended up on the losing team at the end of game 1. He sat there only with 4 shots for his between the Sabres. 3 to his name, 1 to Sammy, respectively. But Cuccinero and Aubrey were piling on the pressure for the majority of that game, and it paid dividends for them here in the overtime. As we look towards game 2, I'm looking to see the Puffins continue to keep that vice grip in the midfield, continue to boost starve the Sabres defense, and maybe continue to take this series in a strong fashion.
Yeah, the Sabres, if they want to stand any sort of chance in this match, or this match-up, I should say, they're definitely going to need to speed up the pace of their play a little bit. They need to be getting out to the corners, securing their own boost, and then they need to be focusing on getting those passes into the middle, getting those passes to themselves off of missed shots. And I think they'll make this a very competitive series and a very competitive game coming up right here.
But yeah, we're only time will tell, as League would say, as the ball comes rocketing towards the Sabres net. Aubrey looked for a redirect, but Sammy is equal to the shot. Cuccinero plays the ball high. Aubrey's going to get a good 50 with C, and the ball's going to rest in the corner for the Sabres. Sammy now controls the ball, lacking with any boost, but Cuccinero was a bit out of sorts there. He dives in front of the shot, but there was no shot coming. Eventually, Aubrey's able to clean it up, and now the Puffins look to counter-attack here with 30 seconds gone. It's felt like a very back and forth opening to this game.
Yeah, very, very back and forth opening, which is kind of what we saw in the beginning of the first game. I don't know if that's just sort of jitters maybe coming out for both of these teams, not really wanting to overextend in any sort of way, but as we see, Sammy Needs put a great shot there. Aubrey just sitting and waiting for it.
Yeah, it's that style of aggressive play that the Sabres needed to really bring out. It's something they started getting going in game 1, but a little too late, and they weren't able to capitalize on it. As now Cuccinero looks to try and bring the ball down into the Sabres half. Sammy with a little touch, and then a good 50 with Aubrey. He's feigning not having much boost. He knows he has some. C now able to capitalize off the pass, and a great little play there from the Sabres, and they take the first goal in this game.
Yeah, that all started because Sammy Needs got that great 50 off of Aubrey, and Cuccinero just sitting flat-footed, no momentum whatsoever, could not get in any sort of position to make that save there.
Yeah, and it was a great piece of attacking play, but you do have to discount the fact that it was a save that normally you would see made at this level. Cuccinero just out of position, unable to get on the end of it, and C now looks to control the ball for the Sabres in their own half. It's a good read, though, from Aubrey. He's going to keep applying pressure here, and this is the vice grip. This is the style of play we expect to see out of the Puffins. Holding that midfield, challenging as soon as they can, and threatening balls from the corner.
Yeah, and just as you predicted, there's Aubrey coming in from the midfield to keep this ball in, and Cuccinero on the other side doing the exact same, looking for a pass over to Aubrey, doesn't find it, and they get it cleared, and they get a sigh of relief here.
Yeah, and now Sabres look to try and turn this into an attack of their own. The ball dangles into the midfield, but Cucinero's going to meet it and send it again back into that Sabres back corner. It's a style of offense that they've used, but it feels like the Sabres are starting to get their rotation down defensively. Beat from Aubrey. Ball goes in front of the box. Cucinero looks to get there. He does get there, and a great shot from Cucinero to tie the game with just half gone.
Great shot from Cucinero. That was the tightest angle shot that I have seen in quite a while. He was right on that goal line and right on the back doorstep of the Sabres goal, and he was able to put that one in with basically no defender there to be able to stop him either.
Yeah, it was a great piece of play all around from the Puffins. The entirety of that was just worked to perfection, and a great shot from Sammy Needs is going to discount all of that info as the Sabres take back their lead.
Yeah, I don't think that Aubrey was expecting this shot to come from that angle. If you're in that position, you're definitely looking for the player to play it up the wall and get a pass. Sammy Neat says, nope, I'm just going to put this one right into the goal.
Yeah, it was a great goal at that. It was a great, well-placed shot into the bottom corner. Now, Cucinero with a great read off the wall. Puffins look to get back in it, but Aubrey overcommits there. Unable to find the ball. Gets a bump onto Sammy to stop him from doing much. And Cucinero's going to be shooting at an open net here. Can he get back? No, he can't. It feels like we're going back and forth every 5 seconds.
Yeah, no team seems to be able to get a firm grip on the lead. As we see kind of just back and forth. That's our first real open net goal. I definitely would have expected the Puffins to be the ones on the receiving end, given the overcommit from Aubrey on that last play there.
Yeah, now Cucinero again looking to come forward. He goes for a bicycle flick. It doesn't really work out for him. Sammy's equal to it. He's able to clear the ball into the midfield, but the Puffins, it feels like either they overcommit on offense or they get the goal. It's a very fine line they run with the strategy that they employ. Aubrey with a great challenge there. Left floating in the midfield, however. Sammy's going to play it over him. Looks to try and beat two, but can't get it past Cucinero, who stays up for a 50. Unable to do so. C plays it. And a great little passing play there from Sammy and C. Doesn't find the back of the net as both players miss. Eventually, as a shot is then cleared down the field by Cucinero. The Puffins breathing a little sigh of relief there. Great little passing play. Doesn't really account to anything.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of surprised to see Cucinero back so far off of that. He had plenty of boost, and he just kind of left the midfield, and that's kind of been the Puffins' MO for this game in this series, to really choke the Sabres out on that midfield.
Yeah, and it's something that has worked quite well. I mean, they already have the series lead, and now they look to try and take a second, try to take the lead here in Game 2. Remember, guys, if you do see a play that you do enjoy, please clip it, send it to us either through Twitter or Discord with the hashtag Play of the Week. If any of these plays really do spice up your day, just like this one, we might be about to see from Aubrey. Aubrey plays it, tries to get a 50 with C. It doesn't go favourably from the ball, comes in front of the box. Sammy beats Aubrey to the ball, and now C able to carry this ball into the corner. The defense looking a little shaky, but a great demo from Cucinero. Sammy's not able to reach the shot, and it's going to be a quick little reset for the Puffins on defense here. C shot just wide. Cucinero unable to make the read, but it doesn't really matter. He feels like he threw him off, as the Puffins now look to try and get some offense going with 15 seconds remaining.
Yeah, the Sabres should have had this game put away. They had two great opportunities. Sammy Needs being too far on one, a little bit too aggressive for the pass, and then Big C just a mechanical error missing that shot, as this is going to go to overtime in Game 2.
It shows how close these two teams are in terms of quality. Both games so far have gone to overtime, and it comes down to who has that clinical finishing acumen that the other team does not. Cucinero looks to try and get another crazy angle off of an Aubrey pass. It's unable to find the back of the net. Sammy now plays the ball across his own net towards C. It's a bit of a dangerous ball, especially with Aubrey making the touch. Cucinero comes in, but he can't find the ball. He gets a good 50 with C to keep it in front of the net. The Sabres are in dangerous territory here, but a double commit from the Puffins is going to be cleared away by C, and it feels like the Sabres have just been let off the leash.
Yeah, the Sabres have definitely been let off the hook there. That should have been a goal for the Puffins. You said leash, that's fine. I knew. But yeah, that should have been a goal for sure. And I believe we saw a quad commit for that ball when it was dangling on the goal line. That's definitely a rare occurrence.
Great recovery there from Aubrey off of the big C shot, almost put behind him, but he was still able to get back. Cuccinero with a little miss, but Aubrey's got him covered. And now, taking the ball away from C, he looks to try and get some offense going for himself. Plays the ball off their backboard. The ball comes dangerously in front of the Sabres net. Sammy's not able to read it at first, but no challenge from the Puffins allows him to control the ball. With nearly a minute 20 gone here in overtime, we're looking to see the Puffins try and take this one. They need to get a second game win if they're to keep their playoffs hopes alive. The same goes for the Sabres. They need to get a game win at some point in the series to try and get some momentum going after a close OT game one. I feel like this one's going to go in favor of the Sabres.
Yeah, that's what I said at the beginning. I know it was a guess, but they have been looking really good. It's just a matter of getting their mechanics down as we see a great save from the Puffins as Cuccinero clears that one out. Holy crap.
I'm not sure if we can say that word, but it doesn't matter. The ball comes flying down the field. C controls it. But a great challenge from Aubrey. He's going to send it into the corner. C now tries to play the ball past Aubrey again, but he has been brilliant in defense, and another great demo from the Puffins to relieve some pressure. They need to. Every time the Sabres come forward, it feels like it's only going to go one way. A great passing play from Cuccinero and Aubrey again, the shot just wide. And now it looks like the Sabres going to repeat it. Sammy pass back to C, but a great challenge from Aubrey. Leaves the ball in the midfield. Cuccinero with time, boost, and not a good touch. He just gets away from him. A great challenge from Sammy, and then a great shot just wide. A great dunk on Aubrey. C plays the ball back into the midfield, but Aubrey rotating back just in the nick of time, and the ball's going to settle again into the midfield. Good shot.
Sabres needed to challenge that ball. They just sat there and let Aubrey do whatever he wanted, which was to get a great pass to El Cuccinero. And yeah, the Sabres had this game locked up. They could have won the game. They had so many opportunities, but weren't able to get it. And the Puffins are going to take that one with no problems.
Yeah, and it feels like it was almost like a repeat of what C was doing with your big brain play statement at the beginning or at the end of last game, with his playing it off the post and then reading that for a shot, trying to lure the defense out. It's exactly what Aubrey just did to set up Cuccinero for the goal. And it's that sort of style of play where you're playing to outsmart your opponent instead of just out-mechanic them that really is the most either tilting or the most impressive thing to watch here in Academy League.
Yeah, and I mean, what we've seen is both of these teams try to sort of out-mechanic each other. I know on at least 3 occasions we saw Cuccinero. We saw Cuccinero go up for at least 3 aerials that he just completely whiffed on. And while the team did win, those are kind of plays that you either want to keep tucked away for when you're making a freestyling montage, or if you're looking to win the game and get into the playoffs, maybe stay on the ground and get a pass out to your teammate or get a nice 50 in front of your opponent's net. And you've seen them double commit before, so there's no reason to think that they won't do it again. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say I'm looking for these teams to play a little bit smarter and try to be maybe a little less flashy, though that is less exciting for us.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to seeing another great game here as we come into Game 3. If the Puffins are to take this one, I believe they will take the series, but do know that we here in MLE, if you are tuning in for the first time, it doesn't matter if the series is already over. We do play all 5 games in every series. A great pass into the middle from Cuccinero. Aubrey just gets it up onto the backboard, but C with a great recovery, able to clean it up a little bit. Cuccinero now looks to try and pass the ball back into the midfield. It's a little bit weak. Aubrey's forced to play it off of the side wall. A double commit on the defense from the Sabres, but the ball is sent far enough out of the way that it may not come to haunt them. A good challenge though from Cuccinero, and another double commit from the Sabres. It's something they've got to try and fix in their defense. They're allowing the Puffins to get challenges in against a double committing defense. It's setting themselves up for failure here.
Yeah, 2 against 1 is normally good, but if it's going to be a double commit on defense, that is definitely not what you want to do, as we see them both nearly double commit on that save again.
Yeah, a good clear eventually from Sammy, and then a send from C all the way into the Puffins half. Aubrey controls the ball, Looks to try and read it here off the side wall. Another great controlling touch just to slow it down. But Sammy's equal to the 50. And the ball goes far side of the field. Cuccinero with a beat over Big C. But Sammy again. He feels like he's always behind the ball. Always ready to make the read when necessary. When the Puffins start coming forward. And it's that sort of great rotational play that has really kept the Sabres to... really allowed the Sabres to keep this series as close as it has been.
Yeah, the Sabres have kept it close. It's just a matter of them kind of cleaning up the edges of the game, if you will, the sort of timing of their challenges, and definitely needing to watch those double commits to stay more relevant in this game and maybe get a couple wins even.
Good pinch there from C. Goes out into the midfield. He's going to take another touch off of Cuccinero's attempted shot. He then plays it past Aubrey. An opportunity arises here for the Sabres, but a great defensive clear by Cuccinero. All the way into the midfield. Aubrey gets the touch on. Can Sammy get back? Yes, he can. A great defensive recovery there. And with nearly half the game gone, both teams have looked strong on defense, and maybe less lethal on offense.
I think maybe a bit from column A and a bit from column B, if I had to guess.
What do you think well, if we're going to go over this, the Sabres, they need to take this game to keep their series hopes alive. A great shot from Aubrey. It's just off target, but Sammy, you hate to see an attempted save turn into an own goal. But yeah, that's exactly what we've just seen.
That is definitely something that you hate to see. That shot was going off target. But Sammy, not wanting to see that go out, apparently, puts it back in for the Puffins.
Yeah, and it's got to be disheartening at this point for the Sabres. You've tried everything. You've had a good game one. You had an even better game two. You led for most of game two, and you just weren't able to put those two games away in overtime. And now you've got to come from behind to try and get anything in this series. Aubrey going to control the ball in the midfield. A good 50 with C, but Sammy's able to read it. Now looks to try and get the shot on target, but it's wide. Cuccinero able to pinch it into his own corner and then get the beat on C. The defense is a little wide open here. Off Aubrey plays the ball across the box. Cuccinero's shot is saved, and a demo in the midfield there as C rotated back. Has left Aubrey on the defense. It may have been a bit of an unfortunate moment there, because as they go to counterattack, Aubrey's already back and waiting for the touch.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate. You want to see those go in, as we see Aubrey racing to that ball and putting that one in for the Puffins. They have a 2-0 lead now, and the Sabres are definitely on the back heel here. If they want to have any chance of playoffs, they need to win this game, which is going to be a task on its own, and then win the remaining other games that they have left.
Well, we do have a minute 30 left on the clock. It still could go either way. Sammy plays the ball out to C in the midfield, but Aubrey cuts in front of the challenge, gets demoed for his efforts. Now Cuccinero attempts to play the ball forward. It goes on target. C's forced to make the save. Cuccinero has looked like the star man for the Puffins so far, playing out of his mind level quality. And it's this sort of play that we've really come to expect from the Puffins throughout the season. A solo player, in a sense, able to read off of his teammates passing and just be able to finish when absolutely necessary.
Yeah, the Puffins just sort of seem like they're the team that's played together more. I don't know if that actually is the case or not, but they sort of have a sixth sense for where the teammate is on the side, and they have been taking full advantage of knowing where their opponents are and where their teammate is kind of at all times here with their challenges that they've had at midfield and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it feels like the Sabres are lacking that sort of killer passing or quality instinct when it comes to going forward. There always seems to be a man waiting for their pass or their shot as they double commit for that ball. Cuccinero's going to control it. He's going to look for something flashy here, I think. He goes off the wall, taps it down. Aubrey's gone back defensively. Doesn't stop Cuccinero from beating one, but C's going to try and clean this up. And with 10 seconds to go, the Sabres need to score immediately, otherwise this game is out of hand. A miss from Sammy is going to allow a pinch shot from the Puffins. As the clock ticks to 0, the Puffins are going to take game 3 and take the series before it really even got going.
Yeah, so this game, or this series rather, kind of started as both of these teams sort of vying for their playoff life, and now it's turned into how many games can the Puffins win? The better they do in this series, the better it's going to look for them come the next week and the week after that, as far as playoffs are concerned. So they are definitely looking to get these last 2 wins to put themselves in a really good position to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and it feels like this game has really cemented the idea that the Sabres just can't seem to get off of the defensive front. They've got 7 saves to the 7 Puffin shots, but both of the Puffins' goals have basically come off of misplays on the defense. They were barely able to get any offense going, and it's something that they need to try and shift as we come into Game 4. Remember, we do play all 5 games here in MLE. They need to try and get some offense going. They were scoring goals in Game 1 and 2, but this game they were shut out completely. What do you think they need to do to try and get something going on offense?
Well, it's kind of been what we've been saying the entire time. They need to be a little bit more focused. They need to be getting those passes out into the middle and not just sort of hoping that somebody on the other team is going to miss. That's just not something that you can rely on, especially at this level of play, especially the level of play that we've seen out of the Puffins, being able to kind of stop anything that comes their way. So definitely the Sabres need to play quicker, and they need to be getting passes out to each other if they're going to have any chance of taking these last 2 games.
Yeah, and the ball going to be cleaned up there by Sammy as he tries to bring it down the field, but Cuccinero again, a great double B. He tries to play the ball in front of the box for Aubrey, but Sammy with a good enough 50 to keep it out. He now looks to try and get this on the counter-attack. Cuccinero, however, is going to beat him. Ball falls to the midfield, but C's going to get there before Aubrey. Cuccinero just off the respawn, only able to get a slight touch and a great bump there from Big C. Allows Sammy to get an open net to shoot at. And the Sabres take an early lead here in Game 1.
Yeah, that's definitely what you want to be doing if you're the Sabres. You want to get out to that quick lead. You want to put another goal, and you want to put another goal after that to keep this lead, because the Puffins are definitely going to come out, and they're definitely going to come out and score.
Yeah, and we've seen so far this series that the Sabres have struggled to keep a lead. Every time they've gone ahead in this series, the Puffins were a matter of seconds away from equalising at all times. A good demo there from Cuccinero allows the Puffins to sink in this offensive pressure. Aubrey, however, with a bit of a misplay, allows C to get control of the ball, and he's going to play it deep into the Puffins' half. Cuccinero pinches it off the back ball, but a great pass into the midfield from C, and a great shot from Sammy, putting it behind both defenders. A very nice shot indeed, and the Sabres double their lead.
Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to see out of the Sabres for this entire series. That was a great pass by Sammy, or was that Sammy? I believe that might have actually been the Big C with that pass.
C with the pass and Sammy with the goal.
Yeah, C with that pass. That is exactly what we wanted to be seeing from them from the beginning, and I'm glad that they're finally getting out there and doing that, as we see another great pass over the top. Sammy just not quite able to get there.
Yeah, and it feels like this game is slowly slipping away from the Puffins. We're only a minute 15 in, and they've already just been completely shut down on offense. Oh, it's the caster's curse again. Cuccinero with a great shot off the beat on the defender after a great pass from Aubrey.
Yeah, just when you think the Puffins are taking their foot off the gas, that is a great shot and 50 there from the Puffins to put that one in. Now they only are down by 1, and hey, look to be surging now.
Yeah, well, it all depends on how this kickoff goes. It's going to fall into the midfield. Cuccinero is going to take control of the ball and the boost. He's going to play it, attempt to play it past 1, but Sammy's only really affected his teammate there. Cuccinero shot a good 50 from C, and then a second great 50. He goes up for the ball and gets a third with Cuccinero, but this one pinches out into the right side of the field. Aubrey plays the ball in front of the box. Cuccinero not challenging there, allowing C to make the clear. And now the Sabres look to try and get some offense going to try and recapture the momentum they had at the beginning of this game.
Yeah, a bit of a heavy touch there from the Sabres, not able to score. They're going to want to put those ones in, as we see the Puffins are just kind of setting up camp in their offensive zone, putting that little stranglehold that we saw in the first 2 games on them.
Yeah, and it's that sort of style of play that has been so effective at just sort of silencing the Sabres offense, because when you can't get out of defense, there's no way for you to be able to put a shot on the back of the net. A ball comes across the midfield. I think it was Sammy with the touch. Cuccinero looks for a bump on C, throws him off a little bit, and the ball's going to bounce dangerously towards the net. Cuccinero shots high and wide, and C's going to be able to clean it up just as Aubrey comes in to try and shoot. Now, looking for the counter-attack. Sorry.
No, I like the idea there from the Puffins trying to get that little doink pass up, but not quite working out for him.
Cuccinero now tries to clear the ball down the field. Aubrey with another great read. He seems to be reading any clears that the Sabres attempt, any deep field clears. He's just reading it. He's sending it right back into the Sabres half. Another great example. Cuccinero tries to read that ball, unable to, as it just goes over his head. And now Sammy, realizing there's only one back, takes the shot, gets the read off of the save, and a brilliant goal for Sammy. Gets his hat trick for the game off of 3 shots and makes the Sabres lead 3-1.
Yeah, that was great. A great shot, a great initial touch there from Sammy, and then he just happens to get up and get the perfect positioning again for that 50, and that goes right into the net.
It was a brilliant play from Sammy. He's really came into his own in this game offensively. It feels like everything he touches turns to gold. Call him Midas, because the ball comes in front of the box again. He's not there for that one. Cuccinero going to clean it into the corner, and he's going to try and clear this one down the field, only as far as Sammy. Now Aubrey, forced to try and clear the ball out of his own half. He's had a bit of a quieter game so far, has Aubrey. He's not really had much going for him offensively or defensively, other than his really good mammoth 50s. It may come down to just a little bit of a lack of offensive pressure that they've had this game.
Well, once you sort of take the series lead, I can understand why you would sort of be a little bit more passive. They already have it wrapped up, so they may think that they're not playing for anything, as we see Big C catch that pass from Sammy and just bury it into this net.
A big goal for Big C and a great bounce shot. It's a shot you don't see very often in Academy League. It's a shot more typically associated with the higher levels of gameplay, but it's a shot that Big C utilizes very well, especially there, and takes the Sabres to a 4-1 lead as Cuccinero tries to bring the ball forward, but Sammy's going to read him. It feels like they finally worked out this Puffins offense, but it feels like a little too late in terms of quality of play.
Yeah, definitely too little too late. They could have used these games definitely earlier in the series. If they would have been a little bit more competitive early on, we could have seen sort of a little bit more of a competition in this Game 5 that we have coming up. But the Sabres just a little bit too late to the party, as we have a wide open net here for Sammy. If he just puts this on target, and he does, and now they're up 5-1.
Yeah, it was a little bit of I think a misread there off the wall from Aubrey. Cuccinero is not going to be able to rotate back. It was a great shot from Sammy, though, to be able to realize that the mistake had been made, quickly rotate into position to get the shot off. With 22 seconds, we're looking to Game 5. Who do you think is going to take Game 5 and why?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say the Sabres, just because it really looks like the Puffins don't think that they are playing for anything, despite them definitely vying for position between, I believe it's the Wolves, who are their next division rival ahead of them. They definitely need to be thinking about jockeying for position, as we see Sammy with a full court dribble play, not quite able to get the power he needs to put that in, but they will take this game anyways. So yeah, moving into Game 5, I want to say it's going to be the Sabres. They looked really dominant in this game, and I don't think the Puffins are here to play anymore.
Well, I mean, we're only going to find out as the game begins, but I just want to bring attention to how well Sammy played during that game. Offensively, he felt like an absolute beast. Every shot just seemed to find its way on target, or pressure the keeper, or pressure the defender into making a mistake when C was scoring goals. It's that sort of aggressive and quick style of play that really has benefited the Sabres in Game 4, and if they are to continue it into Game 5, like you said, there's a good chance that they will take this one without much resistance from the Puffins.
Yeah, not a lot of resistance coming from the Puffins in that Game 4, and I mean, they could turn it around. They've obviously shown that they are the better team, at least today, but they need to have that mindset that they need this win. The Sabres are sort of in the position where it doesn't really matter if they win or lose at this point, so maybe that's why they have this newfound confidence. They're just kind of coming out and playing, just out there having fun, that kind of thing. So yeah, I would definitely look for the Puffins to be the team that needs to win, but the Sabres look to be the one that wants to win. They don't want to get a 4-1 or a 5-0, and they have prevented that at this point, at least the 5-0. So definitely look for them to take this game.
Yeah, and knowing now a little bit of a factoid for you, the Sabres, I think, have kicked it into a gear in Game 4 because they realised that if they were to lose that game, they would be mathematically eliminated from the playoff contention. They really need to get a goal. And Cuccinero, what a flick from the man from Mexico. An absolute banger of a goal.
Yeah, that was insane. He was basically on the goal line when he sent that one in and gets it between both defenders. That was insane. I would definitely clip that if I was watching this on stream right now.
Oh, I would absolutely clip it as well. Big C now off the kickoff, tries to get a quick counter-attacking goal. It's again another shot from Sam. He tries to read Aubrey's defensive clear, but it's not going to work out. Puffins now trying to get back on offense. C dribbles this ball into the midfield. It's met by Cuccinero and a great demo from Aubrey in the midfield to allow them to apply that vice grip. Aubrey with a little miss though, has allowed Sammy to try and make the touch, but Sammy I think was reading more Aubrey's touch than where the ball was, and the ball now sits deep in the Sabres half. Aubrey shot just high and wide. He needs to find the target with shots like that if they are to continue to extend their lead.
Yeah, definitely need to find the target with those shots. But we saw, I believe, 3 players in a row miss the ball, and it's going to be hard to read anything like that if you're on either of these teams. Definitely could have seen a goal happen because of that, but we did not see any of that. As we see, these teams are definitely speeding up and seem to be level with each other right now.
Yeah, it's like a domino effect when someone misses the ball because you're predicting them to read the ball, and then the person who's going with you is predicting you to hit the ball, but because the other person, it's a complete shambles whenever someone misses at this level. But both teams now look a little bit more composed. Sammy with a great read off of the touch, and he's gonna bury this one. With 3:21 gone, they've equalised.
Yeah, this is definitely not what I was expecting for this Game 5. Both of these teams coming out, they have amped up the speed, and this is looking like it's going to be a really good game going forward.
Yeah, the last time these two teams met in a series, Aubrey was on the roster for the Puffins, and he took the Puffins to a 3-2 series win. He's already got the 3 games again, but can he now get the 4th to try and push a narrative that they are the better team here in this division? I think they can. I feel like they've got that offensive momentum now that they can use to try and get something going here. As Sammy plays the shot, siege shot just off the crossbar, and Cuccinero is going to be able to recover and clear it away. It was a last-ditch attempt there from Cuccinero to get the ball away from Sammy, and the score remains 1-1.
Yeah, I would have loved to see the Sabres bury that. That would have been a great play from both of them, and we didn't see that happen, but they are still looking like they're going to get a goal here, as I eat my words, as Aubrey buries that one off the bounce, off the ceiling. That is a great read, and Aubrey is going to be very happy to make that shot there.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a misflick from Sammy, expecting the ball to fall down a bit further than it did. It just allowed Aubrey to shoot on basically what is an open net at that point, and the Puffins will retake the lead here as we come into the second half of this Game 5. This is all about the playoff spots that we will have officially got decided by next week as we head towards the final week of MLE's game. It's necessary for both teams now to find a game win here to really cement themselves as a true playoff potential team. C looks to just take his time with the ball off of a double width, plays it past Cuccinero and controls the ball in the midfield. He's really become a little bit stylish with his play, and a great dribble and flick. Absolutely tremendous from Big C, and it's a pure skill play to equalize the game at 2-2.
That was one of the best dribble plays and flicks I have seen in any league so far this season. That was absolutely insane from the Big C there. That was that was nuts.
It was incredibly skillful, incredibly out of the blue as well. It felt like the Sabres might fall back on their heels, and now with that goal in their memory, Sammy's going to make it 3, and the Sabres are going to take a lead for the first time in Game 5.
Yeah, Sabres take this lead, and not a moment too soon. They are surging right now, and I think that last goal from them has given them tons of momentum as the Puffins look like they are on the back heel here. They want this game because they are jockeying for playoff positioning, and the Sabres are jockeying for their life. If they lose one more game, they are out, as this game gets tied up into the last minute and a half here.
Yeah, great little play here from Cuccinero. Turns early, gets it past C. Able to read the fact that he's not scoring that straight away, so he reads his own touch off the post, is able to pinch that one in. 3-3, minute 30 to go. This game is so 50-50. I think we're about to see another game, Game 5 OT.
Yep, this is definitely going to a Game 5 OT unless we can see some sort of last-minute heroics from one of these teams, which is very possible, I suppose.
Yeah, but when you've got C playing the way he is, it could go either way. Cuccinero now, the great ball down the field. He's going to run up the backboard. He's going to try and pinch it across the midfield, and he does so. A beautiful pass from Cuccinero. Aubrey's able to get there just before Sammy blows him up. And with a minute 9 remaining, the Puffins take the lead again.
Yeah, Cuccinero with a super aggressive play there to get that touch right around the defender. That is an excellent pass, and Aubrey, that wasn't a free shot. He got that just perfectly right before that demo and bump came in.
Yeah, and it was a very nice shot from Aubrey. It feels like every single shot that these two teams are putting on for us is a Play of the Week nominee, or at least could be. Aubrey making a last second save as the ball comes in front of the box. Sammy tries to play it towards Big C, but Cuccinero is going to clean it up. Now looks to try and rotate into the offense. C puts it above his own net. A good 50 from Sammy. He's going to keep it in his own corner, but Aubrey threatening, and it threatens to the point where C whiffs. Now Sammy beats one, looks to try and beat Cuccinero. He's going to play it past him. It's an equalizer again for the Sabres. This game is so 50-50.
Yeah, this game is definitely going either way as we see Sammy doing his best Big C impression as he has another great dribble play. That one past both defenders and into the left side of the goal there. That was insane.
This is the quality of Academy League games that we're going to be seeing in the playoffs, and it's unfortunate to think that maybe one of these teams won't be in the playoffs because of how tight the Academy League is. Cuccinero with a great dunk onto Sammy, but C's going to try and clean it up a little bit. Ball goes towards the Puffins net, but Cuccinero's back. He's the last man back. C just can't get it past him, and Aubrey's going to try and clean this one up. With limited boost left and 10 seconds left on the clock, Sammy with a great beat. The ball comes in front of the Puffins net. Cuccinero forced to make another great save. Ball now played high as the clock ticks down at 0. C can't put it on target. We've got a Game 5 OT.
Yeah, if C would have put that on target, I would have ran out of this room because that would have been nuts.
Yeah, well, how am I meant to have the post-game cast if you've left the room?
Yeah, well, it would have been really hard.
Yeah, it would have been very hard. C now controls the ball in his own half. Aubrey with a great challenge though. Puts it into the midfield, but Sammy another great beat. He was the last man back. He needed to make that challenge. Now C plays it past Cuccinero, but a ball sent long by Aubrey. A little bit of back and forth here to start this overtime. It feels like the start of a new game because both teams are pushing hard. Cuccinero with a great attempt, but he's not able to get on the end of it. Aubrey almost overcommits to that. C shots on target, and the Sabres are going to take Game 5. They may not have won the series, but they'll take that.
Yeah, you could tell as soon as Aubrey touched that, he knew that that was a mistake, and he tried everything that he could to get back, and Cuccinero just not in the proper position to get that save there. That was a great Game 5, and the Sabres take that one. I did predict it, but not in that fashion.
Yeah, I predicted the Puffins taking the series, but we both knew this was going to be a close one. And especially with guys playing at the best of their quality, only one mistake is all it took for the game to go against the Puffins here. And it was a very, very good game, and it was a pleasure to cast it. As we look forward now, we now see that the Sabres, with that win, they are safe. They are still somehow in playoff contention. They need to get a sweep and have results go their way elsewhere to make it, whilst the Puffins also still in playoff contention by the scruff of their neck. It is so tight for these playoff spots in Academy League, and I'm looking forward to seeing which team makes it.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to see who's going to make it. I can tell you that you probably won't see any Ducks there. We haven't done super well this season, so it's a little unfortunate. But these teams that are vying for the last few spots are definitely going all out. And I don't know if the Sabres even knew that they needed to win that to have any sort of hope whatsoever. They are one loss away from being mathematically eliminated. So definitely look for these players, or rather these teams next week. They're definitely going to be trying real hard to get into there.
Yeah.
We are not quite done with this cast, though, are we?
No, we're not. We are coming up. We have another game for you. It is a Premier League matchup. The big boys are coming out as the Ducks take on the Hawks in Game 3. But before we get to that, and before we head off to a break, do know that there will be Play of the Weeks being shown. I believe it's week 8 or week 7. I'm not necessarily certain on the week, but it's going to be Play of the Week either way. And you guys get to sit and watch it as it goes on. But we'll be right back with some more MLE gameplay.
It's huge to have your teammate supporting you in situations that.
Just a rapid fire pass here as well, and the shot 80 miles an hour off of the nose of A1 Andy because he didn't get the car rotated and hit it with his tires instead of the top of the car. And what a fantastic finish for the Sabres. They are not going down without a fight.
Again, plays the ball upfield. Moosey going to control it. Try to bring it out of his own half, but Grizzly's there. Tees it up for himself. Fakes a flick. Gets the flick the second time round. Grizzly's had enough of Cali.